Hi, I'm Liz.
And I'm River. And you're listening to
The Book Fairies. So, as you can notice, probably, if you're listening or watching us on YouTube, you can't see us anymore. Very unfortunate that you can't see our beautiful, stunning faces anymore. But we've decided to go audio only because reasons.
Basically, it's just a little easier because Liz has been doing a lot in terms of editing and making everything look so perfect. And I don't know how to do that. And Liz needs a break. So we're doing this because I know how to edit audio. It's going to help us focus more on the quality content that we're putting out in terms of like just talking about the subject matter. And
exactly. And not worry about how we look and not worry if we're in frame or not and all that stuff. And it was a lot of getting ready and just a lot of shit that we needed to worry about a little bit. We didn't need to, but it's sort of like a little bit of pressure, and that's all fallen off of our shoulders right now. We've been so excited to go audio only. We've been like screaming at each other like, it's so magic.
I know. I called you this morning because I woke up and I was like, shit, I need to get my backdrop figured out and like all this other stuff. And then I realized I didn't have to do any of it. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Hallelujah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to do this episode. I feel like, did you like the book?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to talk about Fresh today by Margot Wood, and it was a really interesting book. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, you're right. It was about this girl who started freshman year in college, and yeah, she has ADHD, so she's all over the place. So it's really funny, and you sort of go along with her to figure out her school year and stuff.
Yeah. Like she's having a hard time like figuring out like what she wants to major in. Main character's name is Elliott Mchugh. And she definitely has ADHD, which is I think like very well portrayed in the book, in the sense that like I do some of the things that she does. Like I'm pretty certain I have ADHD. Maybe not like the highest form of it, but I definitely have like moments where, for example, when she first gets into college and like she's at her dorm and she's talking about like how much she loves to do laundry. Like laundry is her favorite thing. And then she goes down and she puts laundry and she has an interaction in the laundry room. I will get there later. She ends up going into her room and then she forgets that her laundry. She completely forgets it. And like that is me on a daily basis for everything. Like I'll start a project. Are you like me too?
Yeah, no. I was like holding up my finger because like can I do a little side note?
Yeah.
Because ADHD and autism they have very similar symptoms, or I don't know how to really describe it, but
characteristics, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of things that like overlap. Mm-hmm. So autistic people might be really good at seeing themselves in ADHD people and the other way around because it's so similar.
Yeah, exactly. I totally see that too. I'm definitely thinking that I have both a form of ADHD and a form of autism because my daughter has similar things as well, and my sister's kids have the same thing, and my sister's as well. So it's just like a genetic thing.
It's starting to become very obvious when everyone in your family has autism,
right? And we're all getting diagnosed like later on in life, and you grow up thinking that you're just like a fucking weirdo, which you probably are. But like there's a reason for it. There's like
that's not related to anything.
Oh my goodness. It was a very roundabout way of saying that like Margot, no, it's okay. But yeah, Margot, she does like a really great she does a really great way
she does a
great job, that's what I'm looking for. She does a very great job of describing how ADHD looks. I just think that the way certain things are written in the book too, like for example, like Elliott's drunk scale or Elliott's drinking scale.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so good, so good. Yeah.
Do you want to read the premise?
Let me pull it up real fast. Okay.
Oh, also, I got 2 books today in a thrift store. I was wondering if you wanted to see that. I got this. This one was free, which was really cool. It's called Leona and Juliet, and I think it's about the struggles of people in color. I'm sorry,
people in color.
People of color.
I don't mean to laugh. But
no.
Okay, yes, people of
color in the Victorian era. Or somewhere around that time. And then I found The Midnight Library, which we already read.
But it's in Dutch.
It's in Dutch, and I was
Midnachtbibliotheek, toch?
Almost. The Middernachtbibliotheek.
Oh, Middernacht.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Middernacht.
The Middernacht. Yeah.
I'm not sure what you said. But it was pretty close.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I tried.
Good job.
But that's awesome that you found it. I know, right? Thank you.
I think I might have listened to it in Dutch as well the first way around. But I'm not really sure anymore.
Yeah, I read it. No. Did I read it or did I do audiobook? I think I did audiobook for it because I remember the way that the narrator sounded. Yeah, I remember that. Like when I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking of it in a very particular voice. I'm like, okay, yeah, it was probably
that's a good indication.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's the premise. Some students enter their freshman year of college knowing exactly what they want to do with their lives. But picking a major is the last thing on Elliott's mind when she's too busy experiencing all that college has to offer. From dancing all night at off-campus parties, to testing her array Rose's patience, to making new friends, to having the best sex no one can have. Oh no. To having the best sex no...
I keep doing I keep thinking the same thing.
Okay, I can do this.
We can do it.
To having the best sex one can have on a twin-sized dorm room bed. But she may not be ready for the fallout when reality hits. When the sex she's having isn't that great. When finals creep up and smack her right in the face. Or when her roommate's boyfriend turns out to be the biggest a-hole, which he really is.
He is.
Elliott may make epic. Holy shit. Elliott may make epic mistakes, but if she is honest with herself and with you, dear reader, breaking the fourth wall here, she may just find the person she wants to be and maybe even fall in love in the process. Well, maybe.
You see,
which obviously we know. We all know it's not maybe, it's definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh God. Okay, can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
I cried so much near the end of this fucking book.
Aww.
I cried so much. And I think the reason why is because, like, I just got so invested in Elliott. Like, I got so invested in her. And it's interesting because I don't often like reading like first person books, or especially ones that are like around, like, what is it called?
High school or college?
College. I'm not really like the biggest, like, even though there's college settings in my book too, but like when it revolves
it's like
around.
Really little.
Yeah. But this is actually, when I first found out about Fresh, it was during a podcast I was listening to, the Rebel Author podcast with Sasha Black, and she was interviewing Margot Wood. And Margot was describing how, like, this is a retelling of Jane Austen's Emma. So
I've honestly never read Emma or watched it.
Oh my God, you have to watch the movie. Oh my God, there's a movie about Emma. It's like the original story, and it's set in like Victorian era, and it's fucking beautiful. Like, you have to watch it.
Okay.
And then of course, like, Clue is just like a really good story on its own.
Clueless or
Clueless. Oh, Clueless.
Because I've watched that one. I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
As if, you know.
Yeah. No, it's a cult classic.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a cult classic, and it's
but there's
just
not
awesome.
Even a cult involved.
All right. But yeah, so it's like an Emma retelling, but like very gay. And I fucking love it. That's the other thing that I really, really enjoyed about this book is like how fucking gay it is. So queer, and it's just the best.
Yeah. At one point, someone was saying to Elliott how she's bisexual, and she was like, "Oh, no. I'm not labeling myself. My sexuality is horny."
Yeah. When I read it, like I didn't even second guess like any of the sex parts or anything, because I was just like, yeah, ready for it. But you know, you're ace, and so it was probably a very different experience reading the book for you, because you're not like a hypersexual person.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't really mind reading about that stuff, you know? So I was just like reading it as if they were drinking tea. I mean, do you not read it like that?
No!
I always read it like that.
And then she went down on Eve or whatever. And then you're like, yeah, it's like eating crumpets. That's fine.
All right. Oh, no, that's not a good metaphor.
Eating a taco?
Anyway, so yeah, she did that. And then she went to class. Okay, good. I don't know.
I love it. Like that's so cute. I love that that's like how you see things.
Up until the point that you pointed out, it's just normal to me, you know?
Yeah.
And how you read it is normal to you. But then when we're sort of vergelijken,
we're discussing like the differences.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, wait, so not everyone sees it like this.
No, and the thing is that's why it was so interesting, because I remember I was trying to like tell everybody in our Discord about it, and I was just like, yeah, it's like hella gay. And then I think you said something about like there was like a lot of sex, and you're like, just to let you guys know. And I was sitting there thinking like,
yeah, I think it was in our chat with Fright.
Yeah,
because they're asexual too, and I wanted to make sure
they knew. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But it wasn't even something I even considered. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like that's how it is for me, because I'm not, you know, it's just an interesting like difference between us reading the book, especially because sex is like a very large part of it. Like there's literally a sex montage that like happens in the book where Elliott is just like sleeping with all these different people. And like the reason why too I need to express is that because Elliott is trying to figure out what she wants to do in college, she ends up taking like a class. I forget exactly what it was, but it's like something about like love and intimacy.
Yeah, she takes weird classes. Basically the ones that she thinks would be easy to pass.
Easy to pass, yeah. Elliott is a little lazy, let's be real. Like Elliott is pretty lazy. But I get it, I understand. She's just like honest about it though. That's the other thing. She's one of those...
she straight up says it.
Yeah.
Why she does. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she doesn't have like a filter, because she wants to be lazy, and you know what? Good for you, Elliott.
It's something with love or something, but then she has to make a paper on it.
Yeah.
She has to write stuff and do presentation, and she's like, okay, she's sort of going on a self-figure out journey of what she likes, because she doesn't know that.
Yeah, she doesn't know quite what she's into. She wants to experience all the different kinds of like sexual relationships, but it's very focused on like sexual relationships. So she ends up having sex with like this guy who doesn't know which hole to put it in, which is like was one of the funniest like things ever. And then she has sex with a virgin girl.
Wasn't it just a lesbian virgin? So like she was maybe experienced but not in sapphic relationships? At least that was how I read it.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, maybe it was her first time with a girl.
Yeah.
And so Elliott is like very like sweet with her, and then she has a relationship with
a couple.
I thought that was cute, because they wanted her
really cute.
They wanted her to be a part of the dynamic, and she was like, oh, like it's like too much commitment. Yeah, it's too much commitment for me. And then she eventually realizes that the biggest thing she's missing from it is like the emotional part, because it's so focused on sex. And when she finishes her paper and the teacher reads it, he's like, you missed a huge point of this.
Yeah.
And so
exactly. She's not like the feeling part. I think she also described that in her paper. She was like, I'm still missing something, but I don't know what. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I think another thing that we have to say, just so people can understand Elliott a little bit more, is that she ends up like having a relationship before college, like her high school boyfriend.
Yeah, it's pre-book.
Cheats on her, and no one told her about it. Like, all her friends like sort of like didn't tell her about it, but they knew. And so she just has like huge commitment issues, and she even says that like her ex ends up going to like, I forget if it's like a party or something, and then she ends up like stealing his girl. And she wakes up with his girl in her bed the next morning. And I was like,
I do kind of remember that.
I was like, get it, Ellie.
Payback is a bitch, in it.
Oh my God, I love it so much. But yeah, so she has like commitment issues, and so she's trying to just like have fun. Like, the whole thing for her is like college is like this time for her to like super explore herself. So now she's on the journey to figure out like what the emotional aspect is.
Meanwhile, she meets her roommate the first day of roommate day, and then she offers her Cheez-Its for friendship, and she agrees, and then they're instantly best friends.
Right.
Which yesterday I looked up what Cheez-Its are. They're definitely not what I was expecting.
Oh my goodness.
But it's good to know what it is.
They're delicious, is that what you need to know. Margot Wood said that her first day at college, that's what her roommate did to her. They offered Cheez-Its for friendship, and so she used that in that interaction. I thought that was so clever and cute.
Yeah, I love that she took so much from her own experience and put it in her book.
Well, I mean, like, honestly, like, when you do that in a unique way or a different way, or you're using like the inspiration of it, it like really adds a lot of oomph to a character or a situation.
Yeah, it's more real also.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, it was so fun reading that, like that little part. So back to Cheez-Its though. They are amazing. They're so good. Like, have you ever had like a little bit of burnt cheese?
Yeah.
Or like when the cheese is like very like not burnt but like baked.
Is it like those castangles?
What?
I don't know if you remember them, but we have castangles, which is like those twisty thingies. Oh. And they're sticks, kind of.
And they're cheese.
Yeah.
Baked
cheese. Do you remember those? Yeah.
No, but I can imagine them.
They're salty with a cheese taste.
Okay, that's probably very similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably very, very similar to that. Yeah, so her roommate Lucy is like the complete opposite of Elliott. She has her shit together. She knows exactly what she's doing. She was double majoring, and they hit it off like pretty well. And Elliott actually is the one that introduces her to her first boyfriend. Yeah,
she wants to have a boyfriend in school. That's like one of her goals. Mm-hmm. And Elliott's like, hell yeah, I'm on it. I will get you a fucking boyfriend. Exactly. So it's kind of like it's Elliott who puts them together. I also wanted to say that Lucy's family is the funniest because they're so big. It was described that they're like going in flocks or something.
Yeah.
and that they give the best hugs. So Lucy's hugs are like warm chocolate, and she sort of melts into it. It's really nice. But Elliott's family is really shit at giving hugs. So it's like
the contrast between Lucy's family and Lucy with Elliott is like very interesting. And then they also have like a third friend, but I don't like, they're not as close as Lucy and Elliott.
Oh, Micah, yes. Yeah. So he lives on the same floor as Lucy and Elliott, and he starts the third floor report, which is something Elliott totally coined. And and he just sort of spills all the tea in the paper or in their college paper.
Yep.
Just so he can get some word out that he's a journalist or an aspiring journalist, and
he knows everything. That's the other thing.
Exactly.
He has a lot of people that tell him the tea, and nothing is off bounds for him. Like, he will do anything it takes to like make a good paper or like to write a good
publish
piece.
It.
And he will. You
have to explicitly say like, don't publish it like 10 times, and maybe then he'll listen.
Yeah, but you know how journalists are.
Yeah. But anyways, he's a good friend. Aside from that, and then they go to a party where they meet Kenton, and that's such a fun part. I kind of alluded to that in the previous episode with Fright, where there's this dude walking around in full body glitter with wheat brownies, who's called the Wheat Fairy, which I thought was really funny.
No, he's so cute. That's the other thing, like, just how openly queer people are. Like Micah, for example, like he's gay, and just the way that Margot describes them, like, I don't know, I just really, really appreciate all the diversity in the book.
Yeah, and it comes off really low-key.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like hyper fixated on it. It's just like, oh, this is just how that person is, and it's like, that's how it should be.
Yeah, and it's not like he's Micah and he's gay. No, it's Micah and he has a whole personality, and he's also gay.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like, is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's, your sexuality isn't a defining factor of you as a person. It's just
a fun extra.
It's a fun extra. There we go. I like that. So
it's the sprinkle on top.
It's the glitter.
It's the glitter. That's the best one. We're keeping that.
So Elliott introduces Kenton to Lucy, and he seems pretty cool. Like, I remember like her describing what he looks like, and I was like, yeah, it sounds like some dude I'd probably have a crush on in college.
He's like an art dude, and he has some tattoos.
Yeah.
And he looks quite low-key, but also in a hippie kind of way, but also not.
Yeah, like he dresses in black and he wears like a beanie or something, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. I don't know. It just sounds like some like dude I would probably be like, oh, he's so cute, in college or in high school. So yeah, Lucy and Kenton date, and there's like this side plot with them, or this like situation that occurs where Lucy's never had sex, and so she has sex with Kenton for the first time, but it's like really awkward, and she doesn't like understand. Like she's like asking Elliott about it, and she's like, well, is it sex if it's only the tip or something? Like, what? She's like asking Elliott all these questions,
and Elliott's like, wait, it's your first time? What?
Yeah, exactly. And so you find out that there's just something a little off about Kenton, especially with like Lucy's sex life with him. My favorite part about Kenton, after knowing what he's like, is like when Elliott walks in on them like doing stuff in the room, and Elliott feels really, really bad, so she like leaves. And then Kenton and Lucy, they have time to like do whatever they want or whatever. And Elliott goes back, and something said about that he's small, or that it was a small thing. And then Lucy goes, oh, "You seen it?"
Yeah, but then she was like, no, I didn't see anything. It was a joke. She was looking for a charger or something, so she just sort of barged in, and she made it very, very clear that she did it a bunch of times, and that what was coming up, this was totally not her fault. That she walked in on them. And then she lent the charger of Rose, the RA, because she couldn't get her own charger, and then she goes with Rose to the library. Rose just literally cannot. She can't take some time off, and so she's there studying with her girlfriend, Monica, and they fight a lot. Monica. And so Elliott's just sitting there in the corner like, I really don't want to be here.
it's an interesting scene because Elliott goes because she needs to borrow Rose's charger for her phone. And so she's sitting in a chair while it's charging, and she's talking to them about like the paper that she has to write, right? Mm-hmm. And Monica is actually the one that kind of like goes like, oh, well, you should experience, or you should, you know, try a bunch of different things out, like, you know, explore different like sexual relationships. And Rose is like, what? Like, why would you even tell her to do that? Like, that's such a weird thing to like, you know. And then they end up quarreling about that. Like they get like, you know,
and
you can
other
tell
stuff comes in and it's just building up.
Yeah, you can tell there's like tension there, or like something had happened in the past, but you don't find out. You just see them like heated, and Elliott's like, all right, peace. Like, I don't want to be a part of this at all. So she leaves, you know, after her entire escapade of sleeping with different people, and she's like, she wants to like, you know,
a little bit before that, where she is hanging out with Kenton because Lucy was too busy studying, and he was like, she's always studying me, or something like that. And then something came up with Elliott, and Kenton was like, I don't really know how it started, but it's the conversation went to BDSM, and he was weirdly excited about it, and he knew like a shop
a lot
where Elliott and Micah ended up going, but she became a little suspicious because he seemed very timid.
Yeah, very vanilla with
Lucy. And so she was like, wait, you seem different than we think you are.
Yeah, no, she was a little bit like, why? Like, how is it that you're having like the lamest sex ever with Lucy, but you know about BDSM? Like, what the fuck? And like the other thing is Lucy, you know, during this time, she's also describing that like things between them are just weird, like sexually. And so so Elliott's like, what the fuck? And so Micah and her end up going to this sex shop, and I forget like what happens after that, but
I think then the party comes.
So Lucy's very, very busy, and Micah and Elliott and this other girl, I forget what her name is, let's just call her Sasha. Yeah, there we go. They end up going to this party together, and Elliott's like really upset because her paper didn't do well. The whole point of like sex and stuff, it just wasn't adding up. She just felt really like upset about it. So she ends up drinking. And this is where the Elliott scale kind of comes back in. So let me read the drinking scale so you guys see.
Sick.
So it's the Elliott Mchugh drinking scale. A reminder just in case you forgot. 1 drink. Elliott is feeling warm and cozy. 2 drinks. Elliott is charming and hilarious. 3 drinks. Elliott is an asshole who will zero in on your greatest insecurities. I don't want to meet that Elliott.
No.
4 drinks. Elliott wants to dance.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, before she had even gotten to the party, she had already had like about 2 to 3 drinks. And so she was in a like kind of like a shit mood, and so she starts drinking more at the party.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh hell yeah, let me dance.
And so she ends up taking shots with someone while she's dancing. 5 drinks in is Elliott is in love with everyone and wants to make out, right? So she's sort of in between the wants to dance and wants to make out. And so she's on the dance floor feeling herself or whatever, and then this person comes up behind her and is like, you know, dancing up on her back, and she's, you know, kind of grinding into their nether regions.
Yeah, she's feeling it.
She's in the moment. Yeah, she's just vibing, but she doesn't know who it is. She's just vibing.
Yeah, and then afterwards she's totally planning on just going away.
Yeah,
because she's not feeling doing anything else.
Yeah,
she just wants to.
She just wants to dance, man. Yeah, she wants to tease and she wants to dance. And like when she turns around and it's Kenton that's dancing up on her. It's fucking Kenton who's dancing up on her. She's like, what the fuck? And then she notices that like Micah was there, and so Micah could have seen them.
Yeah,
and
so she's
panicking.
Yeah,
she starts to panic a little bit. She realizes like how drunk she is, and she goes to like get her jacket, I think, from a room.
Yeah, there's a jacket room where she goes to sort of try and get her shit sort of together. and to be away from the music a little bit and from all the bodies and stuff.
Yeah, and she opens the window and like tries to like let the like cool air like kind of sober her up a little bit, but again, like she's drunk.
But then Kenton walks in.
Yeah, and he closes the door, which is not a good thing, and Elliott's like, you know, we can't be in here together, like people are gonna think something's going on.
Yeah.
And then basically
and then he sort of puts her hand to his dick and he's like, I know you liked it and I know you were into it, and look, I am into it too. I've never been this hard before. Lucy was never able to make me this horny. He said stuff like that, and then he tried to kiss her and she was like, no, I don't want to do this. And she gave him a couple of warnings, and then she was like, okay dude, if you're not getting off me right now, you're gonna regret it. And then he doesn't, and she twists his dick or something. I'm not really sure what she does.
She hurts his dick, and I like fucking hell yeah, she did. Good for her. I would do the same ass thing if someone was coming on to me like that. Good, and it's awful. But it's a good thing that Margot like wrote something like this in the book, because in college and in life, you know, a lot of people end up in sexual situations that they don't want to be in. It doesn't have to only be penetration for it to be considered like a rapey situation. And that's exactly what she was in. And I think, you know, thank goodness for Rose, because without Rose, I don't think Elliott would have said anything to anyone.
Yeah, because Rose comes in just as Kenton is crying on the floor and she's grabbing her coat. Yeah. And so Rose gets really mad because she just cannot have these situations and she's in charge of it. So she has to deal with Kenton and he instantly screams like, she assaulted me. She just notices how Elliott behaves and how he behaves, and she's like, things are clicking in her head.
I know what's going on here, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, so Elliott tries to leave and Rose is going to do, how do you say it? Ze gaat een hartig woordje met hem spreken.
Yeah, she's gonna lay into him is what she's gonna do.
Yeah, and then Elliott tries to leave, but Micah sees her exiting the room and he wants to have the tea.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, Micah, I don't want it. And he's like, do please. And so she's like, no. And then she's screaming, which she didn't really want to do. Yeah, and she regrets it. But I mean, Micah didn't leave her alone.
Like, if you just went through, imagine like you just went through a sexual situation that you did not want to go through. You were basically like, well, you were assaulted, and then this person's like, tell me what happened, like right after it happens. Like, I'm surprised she didn't punch him in the face. But that's just me. So yeah, so she runs off and then she ends up like in the showers.
Yeah, she's crying in the shower in the middle of the night, and Rose sort of finds her there. Mm-hmm. And she's such a babe. She goes into the water to console and hug Elliott. Yeah, which I thought was really sweet.
Yeah, and so they have like a break after that. They go home. They have Christmas break, and over Christmas break, Elliott decides that she wants to tell Lucy about what happened, because she didn't say it right away. She didn't tell her right away because she was just going through emotions, and she was scared. And so when she called Lucy to like kind of like set something up, Lucy's like basically like, fuck you, like I know what happened, like you came onto my boyfriend or whatever, and blames Elliott for the situation because of whatever Kenton had said.
No, Kenton didn't say anything.
Oh, it was Micah.
It was Micah who put it in the paper.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what it was. So of course Micah had no idea what the real situation was, because he didn't allow Elliott time to tell her side of the story. And so Lucy's like pissed at Elliott, and they have like a friendship breakup, which Elliott's taken really hard over Christmas break.
Oh, was so cute. Like, she called Lucy in a park, which she Ubered to. So in a taxi.
Yeah.
And she tried to call her there in the park because she thought like, okay, this will be better than my crazy ass home. And then she goes sort of on a little bit of a hike, and she sits on a stone where she used to be with her siblings and family to hang out. And then suddenly her dad comes up with a sled, and he's like, yo, do you want to go sledding with me? And she's like, what the fuck, how do you know that I'm here? But she sent a link to him when she was Ubering, and so he noticed her change the course.
Yeah.
So that's how he knew she was there. So they have a little bit of a sledding party going on.
Yeah, it's so cute. Like her dad, her family in general just seems like such a sweet family.
Except for Izzy.
Yeah,
she's
but
a little bit of a bitch, but she's also sweet.
Yeah, older sisters though, right?
I don't know, man. I'm the oldest, so I don't know.
I can't imagine you being
I'm the bitch in this situation.
My sister. Oh gosh, I love her so much right now. But when I was younger, she was a bitch. Ooh, bitch.
Yeah, my sisters would probably say the same.
So after Christmas break, she's like really scared to go back to school because she has to face Lucy.
Yeah.
And she had tried to talk to Lucy over the break, but Lucy just wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, and she's making sort of a little list to sort of make herself better
as a person.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna pick a fucking major, and I'm gonna do my best in school. I'm gonna study. I'm not gonna eat all the cereal anymore. I'm gonna eat actual vegetables. And I am not gonna do bullshit anymore, and I'm not gonna sleep with people. So yeah, basically this whole getting better journey, being a better person, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, she also wants to make things up with Lucy, but when she comes back, Lucy isn't there. So Rose sort of explains it. Mm-hmm. Like she's not here because she's staying at home because she lives like 10 minutes away off campus.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, just give her some time, it's difficult and stuff. But Rose made Kenton expel himself. I don't know how to say that, but he removed himself from the college. So that's not a problem anymore. And she was like, you can charge files and stuff, but she didn't.
Yeah.
For personal reasons, and she sort of explained it to the reader.
I actually think that was really clever too. Like in the book, there's footnotes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, personally, like I really, really enjoyed the footnotes.
Yeah, I thought they were really funny.
Yeah, no, they're great, and so many cute little like jokes and stuff. But I think in the footnotes, she kind of describes why Elliott said no, and one of the biggest reasons is just like how much that shit follows you. Like when you come forward.
You'll become known as the person who had the assault happen.
Yeah, but not just that. Like, you don't know how long, like, the legal battle will go for. And so instead of just, like, getting over a situation, you end up dealing with it for a lot longer. And mm-hmm. sometimes that works for people. Like, sometimes they really want to see justice to the person that did what they did. And, I totally understand and agree with that, but some other people just decide, you know what, like, I'm not gonna deal
with this anymore.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let it like affect me, and I'm going to like move on from it. And both options I think are totally valid. But yeah, so it was super good to have that in the book. Like the book overall is sort of a comedy, but there mm-hmm. are some like small serious moments, and like that was one of them, and I really appreciated it because, you know, I've been assaulted in the past a few times, and I never reported anything. I just kind of like went over, like just got over it. So it was interesting to see or read about a character that went through something like that. And Margot actually talks about her experience, and that, you know, her experience was different, but it was also in like it kind of like pushed her to add that into the book.
But yeah, so it's kind of like relatable Maybe that's not the right word. It's good to hear or to feel sort of seen, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree fully. Like, I read a few books where there's some kind of assault that happens, but there's no point to it in the book. You know, it just happens just to be there. I don't know, to make you feel sorry for the character or something. Like, there's no real like reason to have it. But because this book is so deep-seated in like sex and like relationships and connections, it's necessary, because when having sex, consent is a huge part of that, like learning consent. And so for me, like, this was a perfect book to have that kind of a situation, because that does happen. Anyways, moving on. Lucy and Elliott eventually make up.
Yeah, I think this is also the point where Elliott's in the laundry room, because she's back a day early to sort of get ready and stuff.
Yeah.
And so she's there, and then Rose comes up and she's like, "What the fuck? How are you here?" And she's like, "I'm the RA. I'm supposed to be here." And then they get talking about movies and stuff. And no, wait, there's mice somewhere, and Elliott named them to the characters of the Matrix.
Neo and
Neo.
I don't remember what the names are.
Trinity's another one, and then Dr. or Agent Smith. That's
something like that. Yeah.
But she's named the mice those names, and Rose is, "Why name them these fucking weird names though?" And she's like, "Dude, it's from the Matrix." And she's like, "What's the Matrix?" And so Elliott's like, "Wait, hold the fuck on." And I have to quote saved here, because it was so funny. She says, "Are you seriously telling me that you, a human person, have not seen the Matrix before?" Which I thought was really funny. And then they watch it together on the laptop. She like grabs it, so she's like, hold on.
But they're in the laundry room, sitting on a washing machine.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, it's such a cute, like as an illustrator, that's a moment I would want to illustrate, just like them watching it together on a fucking washing machine.
It's so cute. And then they watched it, and she's like, "I don't get it." And then Elliott's is like, "Well, I didn't either. It takes about like 5 viewings to understand the story." And she's like, "Wait, how many times did you view it?" And so Elliott's like, "Okay, so this one included about 35 times," or something like that. And she's like, "Wow."
I mean, like, when you really love a movie, that's, and also depending on, you know, her ADHD and whether or not she does have like a form of autism, it might be like a special interest.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't tell you how many times I've seen Shrek. It's been so, and also How I Met Your Mother.
Oh yeah,
I watched it so many times.
They're like comfort movies, right? Like, I have that with, I used to watch Clue, not Clueless, but Clue, over and over and over again, and Lilo and Stitch. Like, I would watch, and Corpse Bride to a point too. Those were like my movies that I would watch like over and over again in college, because what happened?
I forgot my favorite movie is actually Pirates of the Caribbean. I've watched that so many more times than Shrek.
I know, when you mentioned Shrek, I was like, yeah, but like, I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, no, Pirates of the Caribbean is definitely more of your special interest. But I feel like certain animated movies are just like so wholesome and fun. It's just nice to watch. Like, that's how I feel about Lilo and Stitch. Like, it's just so good. And I just watched it with Kaylin, so the fact that like she and
it's still fresh in your mind.
Yeah, exactly. In your mind. Oh my god, can I tell you how stupid I am? I was like, after I read the whole book, I was like, but why is it called Fresh? And Andrew was like, well, like, isn't she in college? And I was like,
isn't she
like,
a freshman?
Yeah.
Oh, and
I have to also add, like, if you guys, our listeners intend to get this book, like, it's so cute. The inside of it it's got these like little lights. I think it's like an ode to the lights that they hang up in their dorm room.
And but they're not supposed to hang it up because it's a fire hazard.
Yeah, that's what Rose says.
Rose tells them it's a fire hazard, but Elliott keeps hanging it up, and Rose keeps saying to get it down.
I know, it's like they're so cute. And then at the end, at the bottom of the books, there's these little cups that are spilt over.
Oh, can I see that?
Yeah, I want to show you. It's so cute. Hold on, I can't see myself, so I don't know if you can see it. Let me just...
just hold it up. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've seen the fairy lights, but I didn't know the cup. That's cool.
It's really cute. And it's like, I don't know, it makes sense because of the cup that's spilling out the word fresh.
I also said in my review on Goodreads, I said that it was written so differently and really colorful. I said it was definitely really refreshing.
Sorry, not sorry. Wait, what was it? Can I read your little Goodreads?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, you say, this was written so much more different than I am used to, but it was definitely really refreshing. Sorry, not sorry. The way this author describes everything was just so colorful and fun, which made me really enjoy reading this. You're so cute.
I mean, it's a lame review.
I don't think so. This is people don't understand. Like, not every book needs like a fucking paragraph long reason why you like it or dislike it.
So many reviews of someone who just says BRB crying and then gives 5 stars.
Those are the best ones sometimes because it's just like, you can tell that they really enjoyed the book, and like if you enjoyed it, that's awesome. If you dislike it, you could just like not.
I do that with books when I just don't know what to think. I set it on, okay, I've read it, done, bye. And I don't leave any review or stars or anything.
I need to actually be more present on my Goodreads because I am not.
You don't need to. It's just whatever you want. I know,
Yeah.
Sorry, my English is so all over the place.
No, it's okay. You sound great. Okay, so after this point, after Lucy and Elliott kind of get their relationship back on track, there's like a fire alarm that goes off one night, and it's snowing outside, and Elliott doesn't have she has like barely any clothes on, and I think what she's wearing is like, what does her shirt say again?
Orgasm donor or something like that.
Yeah, it's something really funny, like super funny.
She was just sleeping naked, and she felt under her bed to look for some clothing item, and it was described in a really funny way, but I don't remember. But then she has just this long shirt on, and she grabbed the boots that Lucy had set near the door because she couldn't find her boots so quickly. So her feet are bigger than Lucy's, so she's just cramped in there, and it's sparkly, so she describes it as these little disco balls on her foot.
Yeah. I think it's so cute.
With the matrix thing, she also says to Rose that she thinks that she was completely appalled that someone my age with readily available internet access hasn't seen the greatest cinematic achievement of all time. It's just everything is so funnily described and stuff.
Yeah, no, Margot Wood has like a really keen view on what's funny and like what will make an impact, right? Like who doesn't want a shirt that says orgasm donor? Like I want that.
I don't.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so she meets this guy named Nico outside, who I just kind of see this guy as like a box with muscles. I don't know. He seemed so like basic when she was describing him. Like he's just like a dude that looks like with muscles, dark hair, and she was like super into him or whatever. And
he seemed Italian to me.
Yeah. I agreed. Like, he has some melanin in his skin.
Yeah, they hit it off. And
they hit it off, yeah.
Want to go on a date.
Yeah, and it's like an official date, like a real adult date. That's how Elliott describes it.
Yeah.
And she's like really nervous and she's sweating, and Lucy and Sasha are like putting makeup on her and trying to like get her to look cute, and she's like sweating profusely, like I get it, like when I'm nervous I sweat too. And then Lucy's like, oh, you should ask Rose, like she has like a trick for this kind of thing, like she helped me, like you should go ask her for your help. And so sweating, like running towards Lucy's room because like she's gonna be late for the date, she's like, can you help me, I have an issue. Rose is like, what the fuck do you want, like, because you know she's busy doing,
they're in an argument again.
Yeah, Monica kind of storms out, right?
Yeah.
And so Elliott's still standing there like, can you please help me? And then she's asking why. And
yeah, she's like, look at this shit, it's like fountains, there's waterfalls under my armpits.
She's like, well, who are you going on a date with? And she's like, oh, Nico. And Rose immediately has kind of like a weird reaction to it, and she's like, oh, do you really want to, like, yeah, are you sure, like, do you want to waste your time on this guy? Like, I don't think this guy's right for you, I don't think you should be going on a date with him. Like, she has all these opinions, and Elliott doesn't really know like how to take it, you know.
Yeah,
and
she thinks Rose takes it too far. She's like, how the fuck, why are you saying this to me? Keep your business to yourself. Yeah, and so finally Rose is like, okay, fine, I'll help you. And I think what they use is like pads. Yeah, they do, not menstrual pads, but the smaller ones. Yeah, and the liners. The liners, and they stick it in the shirt with the soft bit going up. Yeah, which is actually a real tip to do. It really works.
I should definitely use that because I sweat profusely when I'm nervous.
So they do that.
And then she goes on the date.
And it sucks.
It's cool. Like a nice, it's a good one, but then like they kiss and she's like, oh yeah, it's a gross kiss and it wasn't very good, but he's so hot and they connect really well. And so she has like this inner dilemma of like, do I continue dating this guy or do I not date this person because it was a bad kiss? And Micah is basically like, well, he's like super sought after because he's like this big... Yeah,
if you're not taking him, then someone else definitely will.
Yeah. And she doesn't want to like, you know, lose the chance based on like one kiss. So they end up dating for longer and they end up having sex. And the sex is awful. The sex is like she hates it. Like he's going down on her.
Yeah, she's making lists of what to do and stuff, and like, oh, did I do this already, or do I need to do that tomorrow, and stuff like that. And then she's counting the tiles on his ceiling, and she's like, wait, so this is a 1-bedroom dorm, so I'll probably have the double amount of the ceiling things. I need to count them when I come back to my dorm.
I love it. And then she fakes an orgasm.
She fakes to get him and she dips. Yeah.
And then she sees Rose at the bottom of the stairs, and she like mentally is telling herself that she's gonna break up with Nico, like that she doesn't want to see him anymore. And so her and Rose are talking on the stairs, and they have kind of like a one-on-one, and where, you know, Rose is kind of describing like her relationship with Monica and like why they're fighting so much. And it kind of comes down to, I think Monica was dating...
Yeah, I think it comes up later, like near the end of the book. But basically, Monica was dating someone, and then she started dating Rose, but she didn't break it off with the other person, so she was cheating on that person with Rose, but Rose never knew. And it went on for a little while before she broke up with the other one. Yeah. But Rose just didn't appreciate the dishonesty.
Yeah, and so I wouldn't either.
That was what they were all fighting about the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and then also there was one bit with the fire alarm, because Rose comes in and she's like, how are you guys not up out of your beds already? Get up. And then there's this little quote that was really I thought it was really fun. Rose closes her eyes and balls her hands into tiny little murder fists I am so familiar with. I swear to God, Elliott, as soon as I am done making sure you are safe, I am going to kill you. And then there's a footnote, and on the footnote it says, see, I told you, murder fists.
I love it. She's so cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and I'm so glad that nothing happened with Nico. Like, I even like messaged Sasha Black because she's just amazing, and I was like, this Nico dude sucks ass. I'm like, she's gonna end up with Rose. I know it. Yeah. Like, I know it. But this is before I finished the book, and so Elliott like ghosts him basically. She just ghosts everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, she ghosts everyone, and then they have this little sort of whoring out for a good cause, but it's a sort of dating thing. You can win a date with someone.
Yeah, so there's an auction.
Oh yeah, an auction. She signs Lucy up because she's still feeling meh about.
Yeah, she's still sad about
that one dude
Kenton.
Who shall not be named. Oh yeah, Kenton.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't name him anymore. The ass hat.
But she signs him up, and then the night comes and Lucy gets bit on really quickly, and then there's other people, and then when Elliott's about to dip,
Rose goes, hey, can you please
hey, can you fill in, because someone just sort of went out and they were like, peace out, and so she has to fill in really quickly, and so she sort of auctions herself off. Crowd is like, nah.
It's the most cringy part of the book.
Oh, it really is.
I was having such a hard time reading it, like,
same.
because it's so cringy, because you know what she did, you know how she was with these people, and like basically almost like she slept with a ton of people in the crowd and then just ghosts all of them. And so she's sitting there and she's wearing like a leather jacket or something, and like she's like trying to make herself like look real cute and sexy, and you know, and absolutely no one is bidding on her. And so
but the way she sells herself is kind of cringy as well.
Yeah, no, I know the whole thing is just like so cringy. And then she sees Nico and she's like looking at him like, please, but like, you ghosted him. Like,
yeah, he's looking at her all mad like, nah bitch, this one's on you.
Yeah, exactly. And so then Rose decides to bid on Elliott.
Yeah. And then they have an after party where Elliott feels really sad about herself.
Yeah.
And
she drinks, right? Or
yeah,
no?
I think so. She hangs out in the garden for a little bit, and then she sees Rose wearing Trinity. Like,
it's like an
outfit that Trinity wears, which I think she totally put it on for Elliott.
No,
I think she
of
totally
course
did that. Yeah,
of course she did. But then
she's dancing with Ava, which Elliott takes totally the wrong way, and so she sort of leaves the party because she doesn't want to deal with that.
I forget like who tells her, but she sort of realizes at that point like her feelings for Rose, and that she's been like sort of like repressing them. And it's just interesting because like from the very beginning you can kind of tell that Elliott is into her.
I told time she meets.
Yeah, you kind of like have this feeling, but then you realize that like, oh, like Rose is in a relationship, and so you put it away. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Also, we totally forgot to introduce the Brads.
Oh yeah, the Brads!
A cross of Lucy and Elliott. Like, they're two dudes who are both called Brad. And Lucy has starry eyes for one of them immediately. But then with the whole Kenton thing, it's all forgotten. But later on, like, they're described as total bros who smell like Axe body spray and do football and stuff. But then at one point, Elliott goes to the showers and Brad's there, and she sort of falls. I don't know why exactly, but then she's exposed and Brad goes to stand in front of her so people cannot see her. And so like with his back to her to give her time to get decent again. And so he's like, are you decent? And then when she tries to stand up but her ankle's twisted, and so he picks her up bridal style to the showers. And so then and they start talking about theater or something, and she figures out he's actually such a wholesome bro.
Yeah.
The best.
And then finding out that he and Lucy also have like a crush on each other. And so at that party, Lucy's dressed up as like a vampire queen or something. And then he's dressed up as
Dracula and Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Elliott was kind of like, hey,
I hear this person that you might enjoy is dressed as this. And then he was like, okay. I think they end up hitting it off really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Micah ends up like dating the person that he bid on. And Elliott is just avoiding Rose for the rest of the semester. Like she just like, after she realizes her feelings for her, Elliott's just like, I can't fucking be around this person. Like I can't. She avoids her.
This little sentence is really funny. Like every day feels like a week. Every week feels like a month. And what a year this month has been.
I know, it's so good. The writing in this book is just so good.
Yeah. That was her explaining the last week of finals or of the freshman year. Yeah.
Yeah. At this point I was crying because Elliott's still getting over her feelings for Rose. And so she's in the laundry room again. Like not like I think it's the laundry room. I think she's in the laundry room.
She's the last one leaving. Yeah. Because everyone already packed their shit.
And then apparently like Rose had already left too. So it was like, like
it was just her.
Yeah.
And there's a pocket. Oh, sorry, you go ahead.
No, you can tell. I'm just going to say like I was literally like in tears at this point because I'm like, she never said anything to Rose, and then like I was just like in tears reading this, like so upset because as soon as I realized that Rose wasn't there, I was just like so emotional.
It's fast. Yeah, in the beginning of the book, Rose stole Elliott's detergent because it was in the laundry room, and at that point it's public
use.
Yeah. So she was kind of mad about it. But then at the last day, there was a box of detergents, the same as her detergent. And she was like, oh shit, someone left their shit here. Should I be a hypocrite and use this? Or should I just get the expensive shit that I need to pay for? And then she decides to be a hypocrite and get it. And then in the box, on top of the shit, is a paper or
a
little
letter.
Little note, of Rose saying like, haha, you're such a hypocrite for taking this detergent. And she's like, or no. But then she explains it, and that was really cute. And then there's a knock on the door, and it's Rose who comes in. And so Elliott is like, why are you not gone yet? Yeah.
I was so emotional at this point. I was like, oh my God, Rose is still there.
There's still a chance. Can you help me pack? And so she goes to help her pack, which Elliott has really hard time with because she's like so attracted to Rose.
All I know is that like they have a conversation, and I think that some of Rose's words are misconstrued, and Elliott thinks that she's
Ava are together.
Together, yeah. So some of the words that she's using, like she's like, I'm trying to think of what she says, but it's just like Elliott's just like not seeing that she's talking about her. And so Elliott leaves, goes back down to the laundry room or something, right?
Yeah, she does. She needs to put her laundry in the dryer, I think.
And then Rose is kind of like on her heels, and she comes in and she's finally like, I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying, but like I want you, like you're the person that I want. And Elliott's like
was mad at that point. Like,
she was super angry.
Yeah. And then Rose says that, like that she wants her, And Elliott's like, wait, what?
She's completely like surprised by the information. And I'm like, okay. Kiss her already, you know? Like, do the thing. And then they finally kiss, and it's like, oh, like just the way that it's described. There's a line where Elliott puts her hand at Rose's back and pulls her in. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so nice. That's such a nice kiss. Again, like I'm reading this with like tears rolling down my face. I'm just like
the book's all blurry for you.
Yeah, no, it was so bad. And then I finished the rest of it because there's a little bit about everyone after and like how they're trying to make their relationship work. But honestly, like just the fact that Rose and Elliott get together, I was just like, this is all I wanted, like the whole time.
Yeah. And then Elliott calls Rose her girlfriend, and then in the footnotes she's freaking out about calling her girlfriend.
I just love it. I love it so much because you really do see their relationship and how Rose is with her, but you
by the way, we forgot. Oh, I'm so sorry for cutting in, but
I
totally forgot that Rose, she broke up with her with her girlfriend like
months ago before,
but because Elliott was ignoring or avoiding Rose, she never learned that.
Yeah, so that information was just, and no one told her either.
Figured that she knew.
Yeah, exactly. This book, honestly, like after I read it, I was emotionally like just broken. Because I had gone through it was drained. And then I told everyone to read it. And then I messaged Margot and I was like I'm in tears. I forget what she said. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up because it was really cute.
I love that you just went to Margot. I was like, okay, I cried. I read your book. It was
yeah, no, she's so sweet. I like, this is another thing about like certain authors. Like they're so kind-hearted and they really do care about their readers. And Margot, she was just super sweet to me. This is what happened. I said, I finally finished Fresh and you made me cry. Literal tears. I never cry, which is true. I don't cry at books at all. And then I said bawling, and she goes, oh my God, those better be happy tears. And I said, they are. I said, I honestly started crying when Elliott saw Rose with Eve. Then so much more when Elliott was by herself and Rose was gone. And then so many more tears after they kissed. I said it was a roller coaster of emotions. And she's like, that's my favorite part of the whole book. And I said, same. Anyway, sorry for bothering. I just really loved it. Can't wait for more from you. And she says, thank you. That means so much to me. So it was just like a really cute interaction.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So we had a couple questions for after, and I think we have a little bit of time to answer them. So who was your favorite character?
Well, I suppose Elliott, because she was just, I don't know, we were in her head and it was funny to hear about what she was thinking about and how chaotic she was.
It's rare that I actually find the main character the favorite. Like usually it's like a side character or something, but I think Elliott is just so funny.
I even have that with my book. Also the dad and Brad. Who are your favorite characters?
No, I think I'm in the same boat. Like I really enjoyed Elliott and Brad and Rose. Like they're my favorites.
Oh yeah, nice.
Okay, what was your favorite moment?
The thing where Brad helps Elliott with her being indecent and he blocks the view of everyone, and then he carries her bridal style and she's like, you don't need to be this dramatic, and he's like, it's all good, it's only a little trouble for me.
Yeah, I think my favorite moment is them like sitting on a washing machine watching The Matrix. Like I just think that scene is just so like cute and like sums up who Elliott is at a core. And it was like the first date kind of that Rose and her had, so it was nice.
I love how in that moment Elliott was just so sad on her watching the movie that she sprinted back to her own room to grab the laptop to go watch it with her. She got an aux doubler thingy, so she had 2 headphones. Yeah,
so she took the shitty ones and she gave the good ones to Rose, which I also think is just like, I thought that was so sweet because that's something that I would do. Like I would want to make sure that the other person is like getting like the better
quality.
The better quality, yeah, exactly. Okay, so what was your favorite quote?
I already said, but I think it might be the every day feels like a week, every week feels like a month, and that's what a year this month has been.
All right, let me see. I don't know. Maybe it's just like, what can I say? I'm a girl with a healthy footnote fetish. Like that was a pretty cute one. Oh, yeah. All right, guys, this has been an episode.
Yeah.
I hope that you all enjoyed it. I really love talking to you about Fresh, and I'm so happy that you read it because it's so nice to have someone to talk to about.
Yeah, same. It was really fun, and doing this only audio thing has been really refreshing. I just keep coming back to it.
I think this is just going to be easier for us to produce, and so now I can actually help and be a good co-host.
You already were. Shut up.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you liked this episode, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to us. If you have any book recommendations, you guys can email us at thebookfairiespod@gmail.com. Yes. If you guys want to participate in our weirdness that sometimes happens on Instagram, our Instagram is at the Book Fairies Pod on IG, and the same for Twitter, except I think there's no pod on there. I think it's just at.
No, it's Book Fairies Pod.
Okay, so everything's the same.
Yeah. And we also have a Discord where we do monthly reads. And this month we are reading The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn
Hart something. We have sprints, we have monthly challenges, and monthly book reads. So just you guys listening to us means a lot.
Thanks so much for listening.
And keep turning those pages.
Hell yeah.
All right, bye guys.